Ooh. Happy Saturday. Look at that beautiful sky. Let me point that camera. I'm actually a mile. I just started. So the last 10 miles of this 26 miles today. Yeah, I'm running a quick marathon. So mile 16 of this. Mile 16 of this 26 mile meditative jog this morning. You know, I'm just taking it easy and you know, just having fun with it. You know, so I like looking at pointing this camera at all these things, because when I'm actually running or jogging, whatever I call it, this is what I actually look at. You know, this is what takes my mind within me. Shall I say? So these are the things that I look at. So, you know, to actually doing like this little live thing and pointing the camera to myself all the time, I just, you know, it's just not one of those things, you know. So I might just point it once in a while. So other than that, you know, so this is just it. I'm a mile 16. You know, I got 10 more miles before I finish this 26 mile meditative jog today. You know, I've actually run a marathon every weekend this year. It's kind of I kind of like it. And it's really funny how the emphasis that we put on running a marathon. You know, it's not the marathon that is hard. What is making it hard is the mind. You know, and I know a lot of people are going to argue with me. You know, and what is this? I need a real camera, man. Yeah, I gotta hold this. You know, it's not the marathon that is hard. It is the mind that makes me hard. That makes the marathon hard. And a lot of people will just argue with me. You know, and at least for once, give me this one little credit. Like everyone else, I never thought the day would come that I would be saying I run a marathon, let alone 100 miles. You know, I'm just looking at it that you got to be kidding me. I remember my first marathon, I was just saying to myself, you got to be mother biscuit kidding me. I'm not doing this biscuit again. And I wish I didn't say that, but because I at the time, you know, I was also ending my soccer career, because I actually came into the United States to play professional soccer, and I wasn't playing, and I just couldn't take it no more. So, and soccer, we call it like football, shall I call it, was just such a competitive sport for me. You know, we compete. You know, you want to be the best. You give all your life to it, and sometimes you can be the best player, but if you don't have a good attitude, your hard work is just not going to be enough. And for me, it really took years for me to realize that I can play, and I'm not just saying I can play, but the key to the sport, I did not have it. And that was the mental discipline and a good attitude. And I was shattered when it didn't go my way, because I was in love with that sport. I can play. And I just didn't know, because nobody taught me. So when I started running, I just didn't want to do that anymore, because I had read a book by a former NBA player here, and that book said attitude is everything. And I can't remember this guy's name again. When I picked up that book, I saw me written all over it, and I realized that, man, when I was in England, I was given a platform, but I didn't know how to use it. And when I kid you not, when I read that book, I began to change the way I think. I read and read and read. So when I started running, I wasn't doing it because I was competing. It was a therapy. It was a therapy. So I started studying Buddhism, yoga, and I had to leave all the material things. I just didn't care about those things anymore because there is something extremely difficult. When you used to be an athlete, when you're younger, and you didn't go further, you cannot deny it. You have to truly heal yourself psychologically, or else you will never get over it. And I see a lot of athletes, a lot of great athletes like that. Because when our careers, I don't care what sport you play, when our careers cut short, we don't know how to handle it. That thing, man, I don't want to use the bad word, but excuse my French, but I'm going to use another word. That thing, biscuit with your mind and brain. Because you just can't believe it, especially when you see people that you play with on TV. I don't care. So I really had to study all the mind books, Buddhism, you name it. And I studied those. And that's how I started running. And when I began to run, and I wanted to run 100 miles, then I began to study my African American culture. Then I read so much. And my goal became, I want to be able to run 26 miles without getting tired. And that's what I've done. So when I and come to find out, and truly, kid you not, the day that I ran 120 miles and I was on my feet for over 30 hours, that day I was so mad at myself because I wish somebody had taught me this years ago. That was the day I realized I have never, ever in my whole entire life liked anything that I've done. I did not like playing soccer. I did not like going to school. No, did I like going to college, being married. I did all those things because that's what I was told to do. And I love the attention that I got. Especially when I do a dribble on the soccer and the women. I just love it. I never liked it. But when I did that 120 miles, my whole life changed. And I just didn't care anymore. And that's why it's very difficult to run with people, because when people hear 100 miles, I can really see the jealous all over their faces. They can pretend it, but I see from being clairvoyant. So this is not a competition for me. Because I see a lot, and I'm not bashing anyone. I just see a lot of, especially 4 years of running, they just talk to me. So for me, this is not a competition. And as a matter of fact, I give credit to women for allowing me the opportunity, because when I saw my son being born and the way my ex pushed him out, I knew I can run 100 miles. And that's what I've done. So when I'm doing this, it's not a competition. It is extremely beyond spiritual. You cannot compete and do this. For example, this year I have spent more time on my feet than sleeping. So it requires a lot of yoga, meditation, to be able to come out and do all this. So, and that's the reason why, because I speak to a lot of runners, but I can just see. And when you play sport when you're little, and you play at a high level and you biscuit up, you never want to compete again. Because that thing just breaks your heart. It messes with your mind psychologically. So you have to find something to heal it. So for me, this started like as a therapy, and now it became a journey, it became a lifestyle. Because I realized the only thing that I've ever loved doing in my whole entire life is to get up, read a book, meditate, do yoga, and come out and run. I just love it, and I do it with passion. And that's why I've done so many miles. That's why I've run over 38,000 miles. So when people see it and they want to have a little attitude, no, it's not. It's just this is something that I chose. You know, it requires discipline. You know, for the past 7-8 years, I've been getting up every single day at 1 a.m. to practice, to stretch my body. I've had injuries, you name it. So that's another story that, you know, I probably need to talk about on my podcast. So I'm on this 26-mile meditative jog this morning. I got like 9 more miles to go, you know, and I'm just having fun with it. So I'm going to focus a little bit, you know, so that I can move. Just, you know, not too fast, but enough. And that way I can prepare for tomorrow. But the story behind this running is not a show off. It is something that I have passion for. So I'm going to leave it like that today. And if you have any questions, you know, let's get engaged. You know, this thing, the universe has given me the opportunity to study this thing. I have studied the whole thing about running, moving your body, exercise. That's the only thing that I put all my energy into for the past 15 years. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like that for now. But that's one of my stories for today. So I'm going to go ahead and almost be done with this 26 mile and focus just a little bit. You know, that way I can move, and I'll check back in the last couple of miles. One love, and I share.